Hello and welcome to another episode of Maiden Voyage. While the maidens you know and love are usually working remotely, the current global pandemic had us talking about the challenges that we've heard our friends encountering over the last week. In this special episode of Maiden Voyage, we're having a casual cocktail conversation about what we do to stay productive and sane while working from home, especially in this time of quarantine and social distancing.
Women face unique challenges, from glass ceilings at work to everyday personal stressors.
The Maiden Voyage podcast covers it all, offering tips and tricks for overcoming your struggles.
While this lady-hosted podcast focuses heavily on women's issues,
it's relevant for anyone who values self-improvement, equality, and badass inspiration.
We all navigate this journey together. Welcome aboard.
So maidens, what are we drinking this afternoon?
I'm drinking a white wine. It's a great way to unwind for the last hour of the day, you know? Easy.
What happened?
Very nice.
I'm also drinking white because it's really nice out. I'm drinking a Chardonnay from a local winery here in Pennsylvania.
Well, I love that you're supporting local businesses.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a nice water mixed with about this much of a Monster sugar-free energy drink because I am headed out for a run after I finish up my work this afternoon.
Yes. Cheers.
Good. Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers. And I have a Star Straw.
I squeezed my workout in before this call, which I think is like something we all kind of want to talk about. Hello, segue.
Yeah, so let's start there. I think our number one tip for working from home right now is probably maintaining as much of your routine as you can. And for all of us, I think part of our routine is working out. So Jackie, tell us about what you've been doing differently.
So I have a home gym. I work out at home regularly. I am a ex-studio junkie, I guess I could say. Like I was doing OTF, which I know Julie does and loves. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I was doing spinning in studios, like SoulCycle type studios. I was in yoga studios. I was a member to all of them at the same time, and it got really expensive. But more so, I got really busy here at Impulse Creative. And I have a toddler who you might hear or have seen on our podcast from last week. So it was a time crunch for me. So I kind of built myself a little home gym. It is not perfect. It does not have everything I want, but I utilize apps. I utilize the Peloton app and an app called Sweat, which is a weight training program, and it tells me exactly what to do, and that's why I like them. So I work out in my basement usually. My husband is also working from home right now. So his office is in the basement, and unfortunately, I couldn't get down there to work out today. But my yoga studio, where I still go regularly, is doing live streaming recorded classes. So before we got on our call today, I did a 60-minute flow with my girl. Her name is Beth, and it is different flowing with a toddler and a dog and a husband and Slack messages and all of those things than it is when I'm alone by myself and just grinding out. So it was, I got it done. And I think that's the key to this, right? Is that like, you get it done. Like I love Peloton because there are 15 and 20-minute spin classes. I can just get it done. I can do a 5-minute ab and a 10-minute hit and still feel like I moved my body today. I think part of my problem of being forced into my house is like not feeling like I'm moving.
Yeah.
Right. And I think even Peloton is doing 30 days or 90 days free right now.
90 days for 99 cents. You're foolish if you don't sign up. Even if you don't have a bike or a treadmill or weights, they have yoga, meditation, stretching. You can run outside, you can walk. And they have like cardio classes that are like body weight hit style. If you don't do it, I would find you to be incredibly foolish, in my opinion.
That's an incredible deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen? What are you busting out?
Well, that's kind of inspiring me because I'm dusting off some old videos, ladies. Do you remember back in the Insanity days with Sean T? Probably, he was popular maybe 4 or 5 years ago plus at this point.
Well, he's still popular. He's still Adele. He's still a gem.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Oh, I'm still
I feel like he's still a beefcake too.
He is, yes, he is.
That's awesome.
Team Sean T all the way.
Well, I have some of his one old school video set on my external hard drive. I literally had to like plug my hard drive into my computer to access these videos, and I was using an HDMI and streaming it through my big TV down here. But it is difficult because as a full-time worker like we all are, I really enjoy my time physically going out to the gym and removing myself from this space. So it's been a big mindset shift that I've had to get into to motivate myself to work out at home during these times of social distancing. I think the thing that I really like about the Shaun T workouts is that he has like a really good energy to it. And I think that motivates me. And it's just also, I've been trying to be kind to myself during these workouts, reminding myself that I'm not used to these. I'm used to just going and doing the elliptical or the treadmill and going at my own pace while at the gym. So I'm trying to keep in mind to maintain a proper form and not so much get sloppy for the sake of working fast, and just go at my own pace and do it right.
I love that. I think that's a good tip, that like you don't have to like be doing it like they're doing it. It's for, I think in these times, using exercise as a way to like meditate or decompress or get out your frustrations. It doesn't matter how fast or slow you're going, but I think moving your body and like as a practice is something we should all be doing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, spring's right around the corner, so it's getting warmer. It depends where you're listening to, how the temperature out, but I've been cracking the windows open because it's been in the 50s here in Pennsylvania, and that feels good too.
How about you, Julie?
On my end, I have rearranged my office a little bit. So if you are a freaking watcher and you're watching us in the video version of the podcast, you'll see my background has changed because I needed to make some space in my office, which is now also my home gym. I have the TRX on the door over here, and it's not hanging up right now, but I also have a pull-up bar. So one of my goals for the end of quarantine is to be able to finally do a pull-up. I've been trying for about a year. I'm kind of working towards it, doing some jumping chin-ups right now. So we're getting there. My back is
I love it. TRX is like mad goals for me. I want one so bad.
I mean, you can get one on Amazon.com. It could be at your house in 2 days.
Now, I'm curious. I heard someone saying that Amazon was restricting shipments right now.
No, into their service, into their center. They're not, if it's in stock, you can still buy it, but they're not restocking anything but essential items. My husband sent me that email and was like, praise be, all my problems are gone. You'll stop buying things. And I was like, if you read the article, you will see you are wrong.
I love that. I just heard secondhand, so I didn't even see the email. Yeah. That's great though.
Yeah, but I also have some dumbbells and curl bar, and my dad gave me a 6-foot bar, so I can pretty much do a full gym routine. The weights that I have here are a little bit lighter weight than I would usually use if I were lifting, so definitely going to be doing like higher rep work. But I was going to say
more reps, boo.
More reps. But I can pretty much do the whole thing, which is great. And there are so many apps and opportunities out there. I have talked about Meg Takis previously in this podcast in our Shiro's episode. I think I'm just going to probably mention her every episode of the podcast this season. You know, we'll just see. Yeah. It'll be a little Easter egg for everyone. But she is offering a free 30-day quarantine program with her app, Run with Meg. So she has, it's $1 with a promo code to get it for free. So even if you paid for it, it would be $1. But it's a running and strength training workout. We talked about Peloton is doing their deal. I am a big fan of Orange Theory Fitness. I'm a big like gym goer. I don't like to work out at home. So this is a transition for me. But Orange Theory is doing live workouts for members, and they're live streaming them on YouTube and stuff like that.
I would say, Julie, I've seen that. I follow some of the instructors on their private social feeds, and some of the instructors are even doing them. Like, I'll tell you what, every single person I know who is an instructor is doing some sort of live feed or posting like a HIIT workout piece of paper. Like, if you are looking to engage in physical activity to move your body while you're staying at home in the safety zone, you can find it if you want to.
Yes. And if you, I mean, it can be as simple as walking, hiking, walking on your toes. You can do things with your coworkers, like when you're on these meetings, and be like, hey, like, stop, drop, and squat, let's go. Like,
So Julie, we used to have a PDF sheet. It was like a daily push-up tracker.
no.
Do you remember that, Jen? We used to do like a daily push-up tracker with like Ryan. And everyone used to do it like in the office. The dudes would just like drop down in between meetings and do push-ups. We should bring that back.
I would probably squat though, because
That's not what the challenge is.
I don't care. I'll make my own challenge.
We should do a squat challenge. Yeah.
So, for example, I've pretty much switched to goblet squats, going a little lighter with my weight, but getting the core bonus. So you can really get it at home. So
I think our number one tip for surviving, this potential isolation period is moving. Move. Sweat.
Yeah.
Sweat, move.
So many good apps out there, whether they're cheap, free, whatever. Opportunity.
And it's as my husband said this morning, we're saving money on gas and wear and tear on car maintenance. So if you were someone who was a commuter, take that money and put it towards yourself. Shuffle the shit, as my mother-in-law would say.
Self-care.
Amen.
So one of my tips for wanting to work out when you're at home is actually going to be contrary to one of your tips, Jackie. So we can pro and con this. But when I get dressed in the morning for work, I get dressed in a general, like, presentable way, but I'm also almost always wearing gym clothes. So I find that if I get dressed in the morning and put my gym clothes on, and then I don't work out, I feel very disappointed in myself because I've set myself up for success. And I know, Jackie, you have a rule about buttons. So tell us about that.
So I've been working remotely a very long time, and I do a few rules. And one of them is that I must wear buttons at least 3 days a week. Reason being is if you don't button your pants at least 3 days a week, they may not button next week. It's very easy to like sneak into the kitchen and grab a little snack and do, and continue to go back and back and back and back and for more and more and more and more. And for me, like once I like have one snack, I'm like, well, I already had one. I'm gonna have like it's a snack day. I'm having hors d'oeuvres all day, right? So for me, and people always laugh, and like when people start working from home, it's one of the first things I tell them is button your pants at least 3 days a week. Just give yourself a little gut check to reality. But also because I don't leave the house every day to go to work, it also makes me just feel like I'm putting myself together and I'm like putting the stuff on, right? Like I don't always do makeup, but I will always put on a pants, a shirt, a real bra, and earrings. The girls will all, not right now because I just got done doing yoga, but like I wear big earrings. They just make me feel like I did the thing. Like I put in the effort for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So Jackie, you're all about having some like routine. And I think as we're transitioning, when people are transitioning to working remotely or having less structure in their day, maintaining some type of morning routine is really key.
Yes, absolutely. I know for me, I like getting up early, and it seems like a lot of people in the Impulse Creative team are that way too, where they like to give themselves a good like hour or so to relax, unwind, make coffee, read, check out the news, listen to music, whatever you have to do to wake up and stimulate your mind instead of literally just like rolling out of bed and like slugging onto the computer. So that's been really life-giving for me, and I would recommend anyone who is just temporarily working from home to still get up as you normally would for work, as if you had to get ready and you had to commute, and just maintain that level of consistency. It's also great for your circadian rhythm that you're just like maintaining your usual schedule as well,
And I would say I totally agree, Jen. And from the mom point of view, it's been a bit of a challenge over the last few days. My daughter goes to daycare full time because I work full time. And so it has been hard to do my job and to be the best mom and the best colleague and employee. And so what I've been doing is waking up actually earlier than I usually do. I was waking up at 5 a.m. for a while to work, like 5:30 to work out. I'm getting up at 5 and I'm working from 5 till 7 until she wakes up, and getting in 2 solid hours of work before she wakes up, so that when I do Play-Doh or paint nails or go for a walk or whatever we do, like mid-morning, mid-afternoon, I don't feel as guilty because I've already, to be quite honest, I get most of my work done before 7 a.m. at this point. And that's when I also do all of my most brain strenuous activities, right? I need to focus. I need to get quiet. I can't have fancy Nancy and the things and the room's a mess and like all the distractions that happen for me during the day and the questions that happen for me during the day. So I get all my work done almost like before, like my to-do list before 7 a.m. And I have found that to be, again, a life changer, like you said, Jen. And I would suggest to any other parents out there, like if you can, get up before they're up so that you don't have to work after they go to bed, because then you're tired. Done.
Yeah. Well, Jackie, I will say this because you said something while you were kind of bringing up this topic. I think that because you care about continuing to like be a good mom and spouse and partner and coworker and all of those things, you're doing it right and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I don't think
really
you're not being a
appreciate that.
great coworker or mom or anything right now.
Thank you. Sometimes we need to hear that.
I think like everyone is doing what they can right now. You know, I live alone, so generally speaking, my life right now isn't so different than it is on a typical day-to-day basis. You know, I wake up and my dog is here and I go to sleep and my dog is here. And like a few things have changed in between those two things, but that's really it. So I am feeling for everyone whose life is like completely upside down right now, because I feel like I've had a lot of normalcy.
But everyone is stressed, even if that is normal for you. Like you and Jen, you know, haven't added a 3-year-old, but like Jen has a roommate whose hours might be home with her more. And like you're not able to see the people that you spend your free time with, you know, like we've all been impacted and it has an emotional drain on all of us. And I think that if we remember that and we approach each other with kindness because of that, before like it's easy to get frustrated and get angry. Like we were in a meeting earlier today and I was like done. And I think it was pretty visually clear that I was done. And I said out loud, I said, I've hit a wall, guys. Like I need to go outside. Like I've hit my own personal wall right now. And I think we have to be open about that, because if not, we're going to just blow up on each other. And there's no space for that right now.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
So Julie, you have some really good technology tips, I feel like.
Yeah,
like, I've learned a lot over the last few hours about this conversation from you.
So I've been working remotely for about 6 years now, full-time remote. And before that, I was a hybrid worker for about 2 years. So it's not totally new to me to not be leaving my house at all, or to be leaving my house very often. And I have some technology and Zoom like pro tips that have been passed to me over the years that I have really been wanting to share with the world. I think Jackie, you probably saw them on Instagram earlier today.
I did. And I was like, come again.
But there's some really good stuff. So these are kind of my favorites. There are definitely more, and I'm sure Jackie and Jen, you have some that I don't know either. The first one I'll share to everyone listening is there is a magical setting in Zoom. And if you are a new Zoom user, you're a long-term Zoom user, this is a must-know. It is great for every day of your life, but particularly when you're maybe not feeling your best. If you go to your video settings in Zoom, and if you have a video playing right now on Zoom or something like that, it's next to the stop video button. You can go to video settings, and there's a magical checkbox called touch up my appearance. And when you check that box, it's just the most smooth, wonderful, subtle filter that you have ever seen on your skin. I'm always using it. I'm never not using it. I actually let a client see me without it today to show them the magic of the filter. And I think everyone was terrified, but that's...
I just turned mine on. Could you see a difference?
You are not showing your video right now, Jackie.
Oh, why did that happen?
There you are.
So it's
Video
just...
settings.
Mm-hmm.
I've had mine. I don't think it here. Okay, it's on. It's off.
It's a very subtle, like
very subtle.
Yeah.
I love it. It's on my desktop upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm gonna say though. Don't ask people if it's on.
No.
There are several colleagues, men, in our organization who have been like, oh, do you know that there's a beautify feature? Girl, it's on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is as beautify as it gets.
I appreciate you. It is on. So just don't ever ask someone if they're using it, ever. It's okay to share this as like I learned some really cool things about Zoom. Did you know that they do all of these things? But don't be like, oh, did you put that on? Don't do that.
Right, I agree.
Especially because like it's either like, oh, I noticed that you look better or different, or like, oh, you don't look good. Do you know you could turn this on?
That's what it was like. That's what it was.
You don't want that. You don't want that. And I don't think anyone needs it, but it can be nice when you're on video all day and you have these weird shadows and angles and things like that. It's just a nice, like, it's great. A couple of other things that you should consider with Zoom. Jackie, I know you started using this app today. There's an app called Crisp. It's Crisp with a K, KRISP. And it is a software solution that lives kind of on top of your microphone, and it blocks out some background noise. So if you're home with kids or pets or construction, or you like to work from coffee shops or anything like that, you can install this app. I believe they're doing 120 or 240 minutes per month for free right now. And it kind of just deadens and softens the sounds around you. So it's like a filter for your microphone. And I'm a big fan. I've actually been using it for probably a year now, and definitely works well for me. The other thing, oh gosh, what else did I have to share for Zoom?
The mute.
So on Zoom, a lot of times we have many people in a meeting. Sometimes we have 15 or 16 people in a meeting. Sometimes we even have 3 or 4, but it's a good practice to mute yourself when you're not talking. First and foremost, no one wants like the person breathing or sniffling or rustling papers or something like that. It's very distracting, but also sometimes it echoes. And sometimes Zoom will pull audio based on the loudest sound it hears. So if you have some sudden background noise, Zoom may pull your audio and then no one can hear the person who's speaking. So we all mute ourselves when we're not talking. There's this feature in Zoom, which is really cool, that you can turn on, which will actually alert you if you're talking and you're on mute. So if you are on mute and you pull the audio because you're speaking, it's just a warning like, hey, your phone is muted. You should unmute yourself to speak. And it's incredible because I'm the queen of speaking on mute. It's a good one.
What about the virtual backgrounds? I just found out about that like 2 days ago.
Oh, virtual backgrounds are really fun. They're another one of the video settings that you can do. You don't need a green screen, and you can set yourself up with a virtual background.
I know I'm gonna put mine on. It's so nice, especially for people that aren't used to working from home, that don't have an office space or somewhere. So if you have like a grimy, gross, messy background and you don't want people to see it, I mean, obviously maybe not be in outer space, but if you chose like a neutral background color, it's very nice that you don't have to be showing your clutter or mess or whatever you're trying to hide.
Yeah, and they're fun too. So it's a nice way to have like a little bit of fun in your day. I will say I think they work a little bit better on a Mac than on a PC.
As we're proving right now.
As we're seeing a little bit right now, but they are fun. You can upload your own image. You can do all kinds of things. So those are really, really great.
I love that it's showing up on my teeth. It's my favorite.
I like it too. It means your teeth are really white.
Oh, girl. That's a whole nother recording.
The last thing is if you have the opportunity to video call with your coworkers, with your clients, with your friends, or anything like that, turn on your camera, do it. Minutes, you're gonna see things about the space that you didn't think were there and all of that kind of stuff. Filter, just have a little bit of fun. It's gonna make a big difference right now. And I think when you don't see someone's face, it's easy to be tense or stressed or kind of take things out on them. And when you're looking someone in the eye, even if you're not in the same room, it's a little bit more difficult. You see people as more humans. You're continuing to build or have your kind of deeper relationship with them. And it's a little bit more fun. I had some really fun conversations with clients today who are getting used to working remotely, who are using Zoom for the first time, and all kinds of things like that. So get on video. And if you're not comfortable with like that big speaker view where you see yourself and things like that, specifically on Zoom, there is the option to use gallery mode, which is this like Brady Bunch style view that we're using. And you can see everyone, and that's really fun too.
Okay, so there are like a few things that I just wanted to share about Zoom because we are a video first agency, which means that we oh my word, we are 8:45 every morning. We're on a meeting as an organization. I do all my sales calls via Zoom, like Julie said. Here's my tip. It's really nice to see your friends and your colleagues. Not always so nice to be staring at yourself all day. And I'm someone who, like, if there's a mirror behind me or I'm looking into a mirror, I play with my hair and I touch myself. So I hide myself in meetings. So I don't look at myself. I only look at my friends. And it has made, it's been a game changer for me. So that's one of my tips with Zoom. And then outside of like a business perspective, like I use Zoom, like on Thursday night, my girlfriends and I are getting together for a cocktail hour and we're going to just chit chat. I use it so my daughter can talk to her friends. Like we're going to call her friends later tonight and just get on a meeting together and they're going to like color and chit chat. So we might be isolated by distance, but I think the power of connectivity virtually is really what we need to lean into. And these platforms, Google Chat, Zoom, Skype, Facebook Messenger, a lot of free ones out there that you can utilize and connect with people. And then from like taking that a step further, personally on my phone, we have an app called Duo, which allows us to FaceTime with iPhone to non-iPhone users. And it's a free app as well. So there's a lot of ways to connect with people face to face right now. That's just another thing we need to lean into at the current moment.
I love that, Jackie. I did a virtual cocktail with my friend last night. We haven't caught up on the phone in ages. And we were both a little bit cooped up. Her husband spent the whole day on conference calls and he does some like supply chain things in China. So he's got a lot going on. And she was like, do you want to talk? So she shot me a Zoom link and away we were. So good.
I'll say that like my friends and I have been texting so much more than we usually do. Like again, most of us are moms. So we're like, did you see that this classic is offering free stuff? And there's a music class happening on Facebook at 10 a.m. And so we're sharing activities and ideas, but we're also like, oh my God, I didn't realize my husband breathed so loud when he was on a conference call. You know, like we're just like commiserating with each other as well as giving each other ideas. And like, we're actually taking a Girl Scout approach to this where each of us are trying to learn a new thing that we're sharing with the group. So like one of my friends is going to do her own gel manicure and like give us like a live stream of it. And my other friend is going to teach everyone how to use this special crazy Amazon blow dryer because they normally go to blow dry bars. So like we're each like teaching each other a little something through this as well. And again, like this is the time to connect with people in ways you haven't before. And I'm just trying to lean into it every way possible.
That's awesome. I love that.
Really funny. Jen, I know you had a bunch of other ways that you were thinking are great ways to kind of fill your time when you're stuck at home and maybe some things are shut down these days. I'd love to hear some of those.
Yeah. So as things warm up too, I think one of my tips is that if you have an outdoor setting where you can get out in your own little like isolated space, to set up your patio furniture, spruce things up as it's warming up here. You can put some plants outside and kind of make that your little like outdoor haven in general. I know even just stepping outside and literally sitting on my front porch is a world of a difference than sitting cooped up in the apartment. Even if it's a little kind of like brisk right now, you're still breathing the fresh air. You're directly out there exposed to the sunlight. It's a life-giving experience, even if you're just stepping outside your door. And just look for small ways that you can get out right now. Like it sounds silly, but I live in like a townhome community, and today on my lunch break, instead of like driving my recycling over and driving to my mailbox, which is, down the road, I just took a nice little walk on my lunch break and did it there. I'm not exposed to a ton of people doing that, but I'm still getting out and moving. if you're feeling cooped up even outside of work, now is a really great time to do some like spring cleaning while you're some things that people have been avoiding, I feel like. But I've been seeing some people on Facebook saying that they're going through their closets, that their clothing or their storage centers that were overstuffed with a bunch of crap, and they're just creating piles and getting ready so that once we are going to be able to stop kind of isolating ourselves, they're going to have all these great things to donate, and it's going to feel like you're purging your space. It's one of those things that when you're forced to be in it for so long, you start noticing things that you're like, God damn, this room is like so cluttered and gross or whatever, and just tackle it while you're kind of bored and have nothing else to do while you're inside. So it's a great time to kind of like do that.
I love that.
I'm a bit afraid that how should I say it? We did it all in one weekend. Last weekend we did our garage and our basement. It was like so desperately needed to happen. And we just like, because it was nice, right? So like, you know, we're like, we can't even walk through our garage to get everything we need. Like we need to clean this out. So we did it and it felt, I like highly recommend it. I'm going to do my junk drawer later.
Yes.
I'm a big time like purger. I unfortunately don't have so much to purge right now because I moved in November. So I pretty much did, and I downsized. I pretty much did my big purge when I moved, but I have organization to do. So I need to find like proper permanent homes for things. And right now I have some stuff, like I have party supplies in my bedroom closet and they don't need to be there. There could be a better use there. So I have a feeling I'll be rehoming some things because we can't bake brownies every day.
No, it's true. I'm glad you brought up eating too, Julie, because I've been trying to be more conscious while I'm inside of just like drinking water, because when I'm sitting around, I just want to eat all day. When you're cooped up inside, I mean, is it just me, or do you get like that too? Like when I'm sitting for so long, I just get hungry all the time. And I've noticed the past few days, maybe it's like boredom where you just want to get up and snack on something.
Yeah, totally. I definitely eat out of boredom. And like, so this is a thing for me all the time, not just now. I'll drink a large glass of ice water and then offer myself like an apple.
Yeah.
And if I don't want the apple, then I'm actually not that hungry.
Yes. That is my favorite thing, Jackie. That is like how I've lost weight in my life. Is like, are you willing to eat an apple right now? And if you're willing to eat an apple right now, then eat an apple, you're hungry, and see how you do after. And if you're not willing to eat an apple, like you're not hungry and you can go scratch.
Right.
If the apple with like a little bit of peanut butter is going to get you, because that's not a bad combo, a little fiber, a little protein, you're doing a good thing there. So like if the apple peanut butter combo is going to make you happy, which I love to do, or a carrot peanut butter combo, like if those two things aren't appealing to you, step away from the brownies. And
yeah.
Or don't, and know that you're not hungry, but you want a brownie, and that is okay too.
Right. I did that for breakfast this morning. I made half healthy brownies, as I'm referring to them. So they have half the amount of sugar that the recipe calls for. They're pumpkin based. So there's some like good fiber and nutrients in them. They still have butter. They still have real chocolate in them. But they're like a good kind of compromise middle ground. It's a cakey brownie. They're actually pretty satisfying. I made a batch and I have a neighbor downstairs. So I left half the batch for them. I kept half the batch for me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And that's
it's a really nice gesture, but I do have a question. Do they know they're not like regular brownies?
I left them a note that said like chocolate pumpkin half healthy brownies, kind of delicious question.
Okay, all right, thank you. Because like if my neighbor brought over some stuff like that, although probably amazing, but you bite into it thinking there's some Duncan Hines Johns and it's not right.
I always specify, I try to always specify ingredients in general, unless it's like a very conventionally made thing with like no, like if I made just straight up chocolate chip cookies, no nuts, I'm gonna be like chocolate chip cookies.
Yes. Right.
Right. But if I'm like, oh, chocolate chip cookie, but instead of butter, we're going to use applesauce and this and that. There are some
right, and I put that protein powder in there or whatever. Right.
Right. Like, I'm going to let you know. I also generally don't give away baked goods that don't have, like, if I had used a sugar substitute or sugar-free something in it, I also generally don't give that away.
That's smart.
You're a good person.
Well, you just don't know. Like, I'm pretty sensitive to stevia. And a lot of people, like, things are stevia based. And if someone gave it to me, like, I would love it and enjoy it and then be suffering the consequences the next day.
Yeah.
Which in quarantine is fine. Well, thank you all for joining us for another wonderful episode of Maiden Voyage. I hope you had a cocktail with us and are weathering this work from home period alongside the rest of the world. Cheers to the rest of our work week and to this quarantine period. We have some related episodes about working from home and productivity and things like that. So we encourage you to check out our season 2 episode, Things That Affect Your Productivity. And in season 1, we talked about our favorite apps and how they get us through. We can also add links to those on social media. And if you have a tip for working remotely or a strategy that is helping you through right now as you cope with this global pandemic, definitely let us know on social media and in the comments. You know, we are all kind of mermaids swimming together right now. So happy to have some comrades with us and to be helping the world.
Sadly, that'll do it for this week's episode of Maiden Voyage. We'd like to thank you, our amazing listeners, because let's face it, lady life is hard. It's incredible how much we accomplish every day, and we all deserve awards just for existing. If you're watching the show, make sure that you subscribe, click on that thing for instant notifications, speak your mind in the comments, and share us with your fellow Voyagers.